Get it? Sometimes it's really difficult, especially if they're cute and they give you the VTs, the vagina tingles. If you're getting the vagina tingles, I get it. Those mugs are hard to ignore. The vagina tingles are no joke. They're really not. They're really not. And I've been there and I get it. I mean, not gonna lie, sometimes I'm still there. But that red flag is not worth it. It's not worth it. And time waits for no one. What's up, everyone? Welcome into Hey Babe, Can We Talk with me, your host and bestie, Drea Renee. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the first official episode. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and the time is now. You guys, this is the place for the hot mess expresses, the black sheeps of love, and for those who just can't seem to get it right when it comes to matters of the heart. I am you, you are me, and we are one. Trust me. So together, we're going to dive into the complexities of love, dating, relationships, all the things, and figure out why we do the things that we do. Why do we want the things that are so bad for us, but they feel so good? So let's get off the struggle bus to love and into self-worth and healthy relationships. You guys, I've done everything wrong, so let me help you do it right. So let's get into it with today's topic. But before we do, make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe, and share this episode with someone you think can relate. I mean, who can't relate to messing up in a relationship? So make sure you share it with everyone. All right, you guys, we're going to get into it with our first topic of the day, red flags. Why are we so drawn to them? Why do we love them? Why do we go straight towards them when we're just supposed to walk out the door? And listen, this is to bring no shame to anyone. We've all messed up in relationships, and that is why I'm so passionate about this topic, because I know sometimes we get to a place where we're continuously dating the wrong person, but those red flags seem so attractive and we don't know what to do. We keep going towards them. So I'm here to help you do the right thing and figure out what is going on with us inside. Why do we love going towards these red flags? And again, like I said, you guys, I am you, you are me, we are one. I like to call myself a relationship survivor. I have gone through the ringer on some relationships, but I've done a lot of work on myself for many, many years, and I've gotten to this place now. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I'm absolutely not. I still definitely will see a red flag every now and then, and I go right towards that thing. But the time it takes to get back to center, get back in alignment with myself and my values is a lot shorter than it used to be. It used to take me about a good, 5 to 6 years to get it right. But now it takes about, a couple days to think to yourself, that guy that said he doesn't want a family, that guy that says he doesn't know what he wants, we don't need to call him again. We don't need to call him again. Even if he is cute, we don't need to call him again. So we're going to get into some reasons, you guys, of why we are going towards those red flags. And the first reason is, listen up, guys, is the savior complex. The savior complex is we think that we can change them, that they are going to be different for us. And a lot of times, my friends, these people are telling us who they are within the first 2 dates. Within the first 2 days, they are laying it out on the line. You also are probably asking questions that you maybe are subconsciously just ignoring, or consciously knowing that you should not be going towards this person. But we start thinking we're unique, that whatever story they told you about their ex-girlfriend, it's not going to be you. And that's another thing too, my friends. You have to make sure you are listening to how people are talking about their past relationships. We are not going to be different. Are there those outlier situations? Absolutely. But 98% of the time, we are who we are. That goes for both sides. So if this person is showing up saying this awful things about their ex-girlfriend, they don't want to be in a serious relationship, they don't know if they want a family, they don't have a good relationship with their parents, these are all red flags that we need to pay attention to, because this person is telling us who we are. I know I've dated plenty of people in my life. And I'm not saying I dated a bunch of men. I'm just saying in my experiences with these red flags, I've dated plenty of people that I knew just were not the right person for me. But there was just something inside me that thought, I can change them. They're going to be different from me. I went on a date with a guy, I remember, and he literally said to me, he was Australian. He's like, yeah, I really don't want to be in a relationship. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. I'm down. What are you doing next Thursday? I mean, he couldn't have been more clear. And I spent 4 months dragging myself through the mud trying to figure this out. I mean, I think week 6, I tried to plan him a surprise birthday party, called his friends. They're talking to me like, first of all, how did you get our info? Who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm dating so-and-so. They're like, you are? Are you sure? So we had the surprise birthday party and he looked at me like I was a kookadoo. Because you know what, you guys? I was a kookadoo. I did not know this man. I should not have been planning him a full-on surprise birthday party. This is back when Facebook really was a thing. So I went on Facebook, looked up his friends, did the whole thing. And I was like, hey, we're planning him a surprise birthday party. He walked in and he was mortified. It was the most awkward situation ever. And surprise, guess what? I did not change that man. He literally, week 2, said to me, yeah, Drea, I'm really committed to my idea that I don't want a relationship since I've been with you. And my heart sank on that couch. I was like, wait, what did you say? He was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure even more now. I don't want to be in a relationship since I've been dating you. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for that information. So are we still hanging out on Saturday? And there was something inside of me that wanted to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So I'm saying to you, if you are in this similar situation, walk away, leave. And I know it's not easy. These things take time. When I was in that headspace, it took me a while to get to a place where I was actually hearing people. I was just saying whatever they said to me, red flags, I painted them white. I got a big old can of white paint, just painted it white. I'm like, nope, that's not a red flag. I don't want to hear it. Or I just got so caught up in the fact that the guy was cute. We have to have more values for ourselves that we are really committed to finding in our lives. That way, when we are dating and a person doesn't show up that way, we're like, okay, I'm out of here. And I get it. Sometimes it's really difficult, especially if they're cute and they give you the VTs, the vagina tingles. If you're getting the vagina tingles, I get it. Those mugs are hard to ignore. The vagina tingles are no joke. They're really not. They're really not. And I've been there and I get it. I mean, not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm still there, but that red flag is not worth it. It's not worth it. And time waits for no one. So you see that red flag? Let's move it. Let's move it, my friends. Let's not waste any time, okay? That Australian guy, he wrecked me for a bit. He absolutely wrecked me. Okay, we're going to move on to our next reason, number 2. The highs and lows are so addictive. Oh my God. The highs and lows of a toxic relationship with a red flag person. Are you kidding me? There is nothing like it. And I don't say that just to be like, ooh, it was so much fun. But the highs, when they're really high, especially the type of person you're dating, oh my God. There is no place in the world I'd rather be than with a person who didn't call me back, then all of a sudden calls me back and tells me to come over. I mean, that drive over to their place, tell me, if you know what I'm talking about, you might be thinking about it right now. It's the most exciting drive you've ever taken in your life. You're just thinking, oh my God, they called me. And there's a little game that people play because if you can't get something, you really, really want it. So, oh, he didn't call you for 3 days. Now he calls you. It's 3 a.m. I mean, maybe not that late. Maybe it's like midnight, but they're asking you to come over and you just go over there and it's the most exciting thing ever. And then fast forward, you haven't heard from them in 2 weeks and you feel awful about yourself. And then you get yourself into these cycles and it's terrible. But then you find yourself just in it and it's so addicting. And the adrenaline that you're getting, plus the vagina tingles, plus the you don't know what's going on. I mean, your brain can't even handle it. And what's so crazy about this cycle is that it's insidious. It sneaks up on you and you can tell your friends, you can tell your family, every single person, oh my God, I'm not going to do this. He's not right for me. He's not the one. It's over. I swear on my life. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. Girl, bye. Because I know what happens on both ends. Goodbye. Okay. Nobody's listening to you. They are over it. Everybody's over it. But that's why I'm saying, you guys, I am here on Hey Babe, Can We Talk? You can talk to me. I get it. I'm your bestie. I've been there. Okay. I've driven over to that house after not hearing from somebody. Happily driven. You guys, one time I drove, I think it was an hour and 15 minutes. I hadn't heard from that man in 2 weeks. One little phone call. Ready in 2 seconds. You get ready so fast. I don't care how tired I am. I don't even care. I'm like, what? I say, who now? He wants to see me? Girl, I'm on my way. Don't let my place be messy. And he wants to come over. Snip, snap. There is nothing like having a man come over to get you to clean your place. So we get addicted to these rushes of emotion. You don't know what's going to happen. It's exciting. But then time is going by and you're not establishing any stability in your life. This person is not showing up for you. You are constantly feeling bad about yourself. And then it starts to be your norm, the dysfunction. And slowly but surely, your life starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller because nobody wants to hear it. They don't want to hear it. The ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, nobody knows what's going on. And as attractive as that can be, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. I think in all of my years, I know one couple that has made it through that. But it took her, you guys, 20 years, my friends, 20 years to get to the place that she's at right now. They are married and they have a baby, but 20 years for him to act right. Who has that kind of time? Especially depending on where you are. If you have a particular age, you don't have until you're 80 to say, oh, you know what? He finally texted me back. We are together and we are married. I mean, come on. We don't have that kind of time. So figure it out for yourself. At least acknowledge where you are in that cycle and do everything that you can to get out of it. If you were listening, you were already on the right path. And again, I give no shame because I was there. I was in a toxic, crazy relationship like that for over 5 years. And I remember feeling like I was going to die if this man left me. I genuinely felt that way. And it took a lot of work, a lot of workshops, a lot of crying in the fetal position on the ground, listening to Coldplay under my bed to get to a better place. Okay? So listen, I get you. I am you. We are one. Okay. So our third reason is trauma bonding. Okay. I know this is like a little it's a clicky little phrase. Everyone's like saying it's a buzzy phrase right now, but it's true. You know, I went on a date with a guy, you guys, first date. He's just laying it all out, all of his trauma of his whole life. And I just sat there like, with the hard eyes, like, ooh, tell me more. Let me go in and fix all of this. Oh, do you want to know my trauma too? That my dad left and he wasn't around and all the things. Let's just put it all together in a big little pile and sit there and mess around in it. And then we should date in it. And when we're doing that, you guys, we're showing up as our inner child. We're not showing up as our adult selves. You guys, I used to go on dates as my 7-year-old self. I did. I was 7 years old, going on a date, trying to have a real connection with someone. And I was only attracting people that were doing the same thing. Because if I attracted someone that was in their adult selves, they're looking at me like, I'm crazy. And I'm like, here's all of my trauma. I don't know your name. It doesn't matter. We should totally move in together. But can you fix all that? And that's essentially what we're doing. And when you're meeting people in that same place, you just sit there and just put it all together and you make a little mess and then you start your addictive cycle and then you just start doing the thing. And before you know it, 5 years of your life is gone and you don't even know what happened. So we got to slow down and really take a look at these red flags from the jump. And that's an indicator too, you know, if somebody's just dumping everything on you in the first couple dates. And listen, I love a good bonding session. I love it, but we can mistake that chemistry for real compatibility and a real solid foundation of what you can have in a relationship. Just because you sat there and talked about all of your trauma as a child of, you know, this person died and my daddy left me and all those things, that does not mean it's your person. It doesn't mean that. But listen, I get it because it does feel good. He understands me. He gets me. He listened to me. But in the beginning, we don't know them. We know nothing about them. Okay? And everybody can put on for a hot minute to get what they want, including us. We all put on a little facade sometimes. I mean, I know I've done it. I went on a date with a guy and he asked me if I liked surfing and swimming. And I was like, absolutely. You guys, I have a weave and I can't swim. Okay? I should be nowhere near the beach. I'm not surfing. I can't really swim. Like, what are we talking about? But he was so hot. And I was like, I'm going to die for this man in the water. Like, what? Y'all, I don't even know why I let it go so far to get to the beach. He's getting the surfboards. He's all excited. I'm having a full-on panic attack. And I'm like, hey, you know what? My stomach is not feeling great. So why don't you just go ahead and get in and I'm going to just watch you. He clearly realized, he's like, Drea, you don't surf. And I was like, you know what? I want to. And we're going to get there. That relationship did not last very long because we have to show up as who we really are. And so we didn't get to the whole thing of trauma bonding, but you guys, I'm telling you, if you're trauma bonding with people, it's a red flag. At least an indication that you need to slow down. Slow down. And trust me, I want to go fast. I'll definitely move in after a second date, you know? I'm like, he loves me. That's it. But we're going to crash and burn, people. You don't want to crash and burn, although it can be fun sometimes. And I get it. I get that rush if you're looking for it. Sometimes we need it, that intensity, right? I'm here for it. I get it. I'm just kidding. I'm not here for it. I'm healed. I'm healed. I'm healed. Okay, we're going to move on to our fourth reason of why we love the red flags. You guys, simple one. It keeps us from ourselves. We don't got to think about ourselves if we're so focused on this relationship, why it isn't working, why isn't he calling us back, all the things. I ran from myself for years. And I feel like, as my therapist says, shout out to her, things press at your bones. If you take a moment and you get quiet and you really think about the things you want to work on in yourself, you know what you should do? Go look at yourself in the mirror. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. That stuff's really scary and confronting. Your soul and your intuition knows the things that you need to work on if you're wanting to really get into a successful relationship. And it's scary and it's confronting and not everybody wants to deal with it. They'll deal with it later. We'll deal with it when we're in the relationship. But those things that you want to do, maybe there's something creative you want to do. Maybe there's a job you want to go after. And that fear of rejection, that fear of it not happening debilitate you. And you will end up just throwing yourself in other things that don't matter. Because if you're consumed with that, you don't got to worry about yourself. You don't have time to do those other things. Oh, well, you know, I got to go do this with the guy that I'm trauma bonding with, the guy that hasn't called me in 2 weeks. Because now you're obsessed. You're in the addicted cycle. You can't do anything. You're not going to work and all the things. And it can get really bad. And people, like, we all joke about the red flags, and I get it. But there are severe consequences if we continue to do these things over and over again. And, you know, in terms of age, you guys, depending on what age you're at, this stuff can be really scary. And when you're in your 20s, maybe even early 30s, oh, it's cute and this and that. And I see all the memes glorifying all the red flags. And listen, I like those memes too. They are funny. But one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? What's going on? How have I dated all these bad dudes? And they tell you, or bad people, this is for everyone. You know, they tell you in the beginning, and once you go through enough, like I had, again, relationship survivor, you know, you start to think to yourself, all right, like, I'm the culprit here. I'm the culprit. I have to go deal with myself. I've been running from myself for so long. And listen, you can. I know people who do it. I know people well over 60 that they never deal with themselves, but I feel bad for them. Like, I enjoy the fact that I understand my wiring and why I do what I do. Now, I'm not perfect. I still make weird decisions, but I'm not asleep to why I'm doing the things. I'm fully awake. And when you're confronted with that in a real way, it will inevitably change your decisions. At least I hope it does, because that's the worst, when you know you should be doing better, but you can't do better. And then you just don't. I mean, that conflict within yourself, it is still a better place to be than being asleep. It is a better place to be. But, you know, that's tough when your mind and your heart and you've done the work and you know, but you still just answer that phone call. Answer that text. I get it. I totally get it. Because you think to yourself, ooh, it's been a whole 2 days. Maybe they've changed. Maybe they are totally different. They're working on themselves. Let me tell you, they're not. They're not different. They're the same. Okay? Get yourself on Hinge and move on. I'm just kidding. Go work on yourself. Go work on yourself. Oh, God. Okay. We're moving on to our last reason, number 5. And this kind of ties into number 4. They tap into all of our insecurities. That is why these red flags are so attractive. They reinforce what we already believe about ourselves. Because if you truly believe and fulfilled in your self-worth, you don't go towards these things. Because listen, you guys, I have girlfriends that do not relate to what I'm talking about. I had a girlfriend earlier. I was like, you know, what do you think are some reasons people are drawn to red flags? She's like, girl, I don't know, because I'm not. I was like, okay, well, excuse me. I don't know that many people like that, but I do know a few, and they are like anomalies to me. I do not understand it. I'm like, you don't find little red flags attractive? She's like, girl, no, I don't. I like myself. I was like, ooh, okay. That hurt a little bit. I'm like, and then I have to go ask myself, does my life look in a way where it looks like I like myself? Do I eat things that are healthy? Am I watching good shows? Am I reading good books? Am I going to bed on time? I mean, I haven't been because I've been obsessed with this podcast, but it's a good reason. I'm not obsessed with a guy. But, you got to ask yourself, what is this person telling me about myself? Because everybody's a mirror. They're a reflection, right? And if I feel great about myself and I feel good about myself, it doesn't have to be perfect, then this doesn't make sense because this person isn't showing up for me. So how can I show up for myself and let this person go? One of the best moments I ever had was in a relationship that I was in for a while, and it was so toxic. So toxic. Everybody saw it. I mean, people were like, Drea, what in the hell are you doing with this person? Even he said it. He's like, girl, what you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I love you though. I just love you. We're going to figure this out. His mom told me, his sister told me, everybody told me. And then one day something happened and my love goggles went off and I was like, oh my God, who are you? What have I been doing? And everyone's like, yeah, Drea, we told you like 4 years ago. And I'm like, how did I move in with this man? How did I make this stuff happen? But I did it because I truly believed these certain things consciously, subconsciously about myself. And so he was just a reflection of that. And, no shade to him, everything's fine. Let him live. I wish him well. But he was not the person for me. And he was not a reflection of how I feel about myself today. And as soon as that realization became clear, I could not be with that person anymore. Like they looked completely differently to me. And I saw everything that everybody else saw. And it was, I don't even know. I felt like I was a whole other person. But that's what happens when we really start to do the work on ourselves. These red flags, albeit can be fun and attractive and all those things, not for the right reasons. But that day when you wake up and you really want to start loving yourself and taking care of yourself, these people are no longer attractive to you. You're not going to respond to that text at 2 a.m. saying, you up? What you doing? WYD. Couldn't even spell it out. I remember somebody text me happy birthday, HBD. That's it. Didn't even get an exclamation point. HBD? HBD. And then I was like, oh my God, well, at least he remembered. It's like, that's what I thought of myself. And then, oh, by the way, you guys, he put HBD. And that's because I told him, hey, it's my birthday, right? I'm like, is this man going to say anything? I mean, no, ma'am. Okay. That is not what I deserve. Okay. And I know people are like, oh, what do you mean you deserve? But somebody who cares about my birthday, because I know how I love and I deserve to be loved like that. And so do you, my friends. But just remember, if you're on this journey, it's okay. Like I get it. It's one day at a time. It's never going to be perfect. And I am you. You are me. We are one. And if nobody else understands you, I do. Trust me. I've been on the struggle bus for a long time, but I'm off now. I'm driving the bus now, and I'm going to drive you into healthy relationships and self-worth. Now, you guys, again, I'm not perfect, but I am doing my very best. So thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you. This is the first official episode of Hey Babe, Can We Talk? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys got something out of it. Thank you for lending me your ear. Don't forget, this is the place for the hot mess expresses, the black sheeps of love. You are welcome here, my friends. I love you guys all so much. I am Drea Renee, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye.